One guy who's probably been partying, considering he's got another state championship ring, is the head coach of the Plano Prestonwood Lions. We are so pleased to be joined by Coach Chris Cunningham. Coach, thanks for taking some time to join us.
You bet, Greg. I appreciate y'all having me.
So I want to take you back to the first game of last year, where you guys roll in and you're playing a very good, Bel Air Episcopal team, and you put up 42 points. 42 points.
Right.
And you lose 53-42. At that point, was there a little bit of panic?
Oh, I don't know that I would call it panic. There was some concern, though. Believe me, we went back to work that next week, that next day, as a matter of fact. But we were still trying to find and fill a couple of holes in different areas. We had some kids that were coming off some injuries. I know that sounds funny at first game of the year, but there's some things that were nagging us through 2 days and all of that, and so. Like you said, we were playing a real good football team, and so we went back to work, and it was a great game for us because we made some adjustments after that really made a huge difference throughout the rest of the year. And
the other interesting thing about your season last year is that you ended up getting a rematch with the other team that beat you. Bishop Dunn
exactly. Yes, sir.
Bishop Dunn took you guys down in the regular season, handed you your only other regular season loss, and then seeing them at the state title game, the TAPS Division I state title game, what did you tell your team going into that game, knowing full well that across the way is the only other team that's handed you a loss this year?
Exactly. Well, and that was the good thing was in that earlier game, we had played well for 3 quarters and let the fourth quarter get away from us. And so one of the things we emphasized was, hey, we've got to finish. That's going to be a big key to the game. We knew that we would match up well with them. We felt confident going in, even though we had lost to them previously and even the year before in the state championship. But we had a lot of confidence in the way we were playing, in each other. And we just felt like if we went in and executed and did what we'd worked on doing, and added the finish to it, that good things could possibly come our way, and they did. And I was very, very proud of the way our kids played the whole game, and especially the way they finished there in the fourth quarter.
And Coach, I've got to tell you that from a personal level, I really admire your coaching style in that state championship game. That here you are and I know that I'm sure you've caught some flack for it, but for those who don't know, they're up. Plano Prestonwood's up 32-27. They've got 4th and 1 on their own 41, about a minute left. And Coach does, in my opinion, the absolute right thing and goes for it. So, Coach, can you take us through your thought process as the idea of we're going to go for it, we're going to seal this win right now?
Absolutely. Well, and I didn't catch any flack for it because we made it, so it worked out. You're okay as long as you make one of those, but no, we were fortunate. We had just, I don't know if you remember, we just punted, and the punter he'd gotten run into. He wasn't roughed, and so that moved the ball up. And I mean, this is a true story. I'm out on the field trying to get that changed to a 15-yard penalty, and my guys are standing around me, and I'm just looking at the chain going 1 yard, and I look at our guys, and Colin Whitaker and Jonathan Heasley, and those guys are standing out there, and they just looked at me and they said, "Coach, we'll make it. We can make it. Let's go." And that's all I needed to see was look in those eyes and see how much they believed in themselves and each other. And I just turned around and said, "Give me the offense." And they went out and not only converted that one, but we had to convert another one a few plays later to hold on to the football and not give Dunn a chance to get their offense back on the field.
We're talking with Plano Prestonwood head coach Chris Cunningham here on DCTF Live. Get involved with the conversation, hashtag DCTF Live. Of course, Colin Whitaker got you those key yards down the stretch, but another guy who was a big-time headliner on your outstanding offense, Ryan Cash, your quarterback, just sensational. I was really impressed with his accuracy and all that. He's going to go play baseball at Oklahoma State. Is there part of you that wishes he would stick with football?
Yeah, well, it's I think it's the part of me that just loves watching him play. But I think the thing I love about Ryan is just the competitor and the leader that he is, and just the class act and the, just the character. He epitomizes everything that we hope our athletes and our students here at Prestonwood Christian Academy stand for. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing him compete in baseball there at Oklahoma State. But, also there's a part of me that says what could be if he were to go somewhere and play quarterback, because he did some things, over the last 2.5 years at that position here that very few quarterbacks have ever done from a passing standpoint. And he's led us to 3 consecutive state championship appearances. And so guys like that don't come around very often. We're going to miss him, but I am looking forward to seeing him go up there and to continue bringing his leadership to Oklahoma State and their baseball program.
Another guy that I'm sure you'll be missing next year, your linebacker Deonte Williams. He's off to Baylor. An outstanding career at Plano Prestonwood. For maybe Bear fans who are tuning in to listen to this, what can you tell them about Deonte Williams, who's heading to Waco?
Well, they're getting a special one right there. One of the best I've ever coached in 31 years of doing this. Deonte's a 4-year starter for us. And from the time he stepped on the field as a freshman, I think the first game I remember him really standing out against when we played Gilmer High School here, and he made some plays that just normal people don't make, much less freshmen. And I knew then he was going to be a special football player, but he's the whole package. A very, very smart player, tremendous kid, great work ethic and character, and just has done an outstanding job for us at linebacker. And I tell you, if you ever saw him run with the football, you'd be tempted to move him to that spot too, because he's just he's tremendous at whatever he lines up and does on that football field. So I think he's got a big future ahead of him for the Bears.
And now you guys look forward to 2016, and it seems like you can't walk around Plano Prestonwood without running into just a future star in the making. Can you give us a little bit of a preview of your team next year, and maybe who you think could become the next household name?
Well, we've got, we're excited about next year. We've got, we lost 24 seniors, and so we're going to be young in a lot of positions, and so it's, I won't call it a rebuilding year, but we're definitely reloading, and we're going to have some kids get opportunities to play that on an early basis, but some good returning young men we've got. We've got Verone McKinley coming back at corner, and Verone's been starting since freshman. He's got offers from LSU, Oklahoma, those kind of places. And then, his best friend who plays safety back behind him, Jeremiah Lewis, is right there with being the same caliber player that Verone is. And of course, MJ Rivers, who had 2 sacks in that state championship game at defensive end, is competing this spring for a quarterback position. And I know there's already been quite a few people come by here looking at him at that spot, and he's got the body and the ability to be tremendous wherever he lines up. And the other thing I'm real excited about is just our offensive line. We've got 3 out of the 5 coming back, and Gabe McGill, Luke Sion, Jake Kell, those are young men that anchored pretty much from the center over to the right side this year for us, and they're going to do a tremendous job. And Clark Whitaker was a newcomer year in the district linebacker. He's back for us at that position. Bryce Young, Michael Slakovich are some older kids that are going to come back, provide our senior leadership at receiver. And so we're not planning on slowing down a bit going into the next season, got a good pre-district schedule to get us ready for for what I feel like is the toughest private school district in the state.
We're talking with Chris Cunningham, head coach of the state champion Prestonwood rather Lions. I imagine you did that, and actually that's leads me into my next question, which is, before you came to Prestonwood, you were a guy in the public school ranks, and you coached
Yes.
at Colleyville Heritage. You were at Grapevine prior to that. Can you kind of give us an idea of what you found to be the differences between the private school game and the public school game?
Well, I think those differences, a lot of them are starting to disappear as you see a lot of public school coaches, for whatever reason, as they move from that area into the private school. You got Randy Mays, Terry Good over at Liberty Christian. You got the Bishop Lynch job that's about to be filled. I don't know by who, but you see more and more of those coaches coming over, and so the differences in the approach and things like that, I think, are closing. Also, I think 15, 20 years ago, there was a pretty distinct difference maybe in the abilities and the amount of quality players, and I think that's changing a lot over the last few years. You see a lot of very good football players coming out of the private school. The coaches are doing great jobs. The programs, the facilities, all of those things are quality. And my reasons for coming over had to do with my faith primarily. We felt like God was calling us and moving us, and that's when I made the move. I loved Colleyville Heritage, high school. I loved the Grapevine Colleyville ISD. And those were 22 great years. My oldest son's coaching there now for Coach Willis, and so it was a great place. But it's been wonderful here. It's a great atmosphere when you can come and not only share your faith, but your faith in Jesus Christ is a part of everything that you do in every area of the school, academically and athletically, and in fine arts as well. So it's been a blessing being here the last 9 years.
I imagine it's also fun to win, too.
You know what? That doesn't hurt a bit. I love that as well. He
is Chris Cunningham. He is the head coach of the TAPS Division I state champion Plano Prestonwood Lions. Follow him on Twitter at @CCunningham76. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the offseason. Try to relax a little bit. That's what we try to tell coaches.
Sounds good, Greg.
And I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
All right, Greg. Thank you very much.